I've been talking about a company called Kobold Press for quite a while on my channel. As a matter of fact, the last 5 videos I did on my channel were all Kobold Press, which led me to understand that I sometimes forget about those little other companies that actually have books that I actually actively use or used in my tabletop RPG campaigns. And one of those companies has to be Lone Colossus Games, the creators of Injuries and Vile Deeds, a really vile book that I absolutely adore. I did a review on this one, absolutely love it, used it in my 5e campaign more than one occasion. They also created Tome of Intangible Treasures and are creating Tome of Intangible Treasures 2. The first one I also use actively, and they have this all ages tabletop RPG called Wyrmlings that I'm planning to review on my channel after playing through it with my son. Hi there fellow roleplayers and game masters, my name is Mr. Taroskin, this is still your go-to YouTube channel for anything third-party 5th edition, Dungeons & Dragons, or Tales of the Valiant, or Project Black Flag, or whatever you decide to play. And today I want to talk about these 3 books. Well, there's 2 here, and one of them I only have in PDF form. The physical is on its way, and I want to really review the physical book once it gets to my doorstep. But in the meantime, I want to do a quick little company profile video. That's what I decided to call it. And I want to talk about Lone Colossus Games and why I like some of their books. If you like these types of company profile videos, make sure to put that in the comments below, because it's something that I like doing, just going over a few books from a company that has like a few books, and then like going over one company's books. You get the point, I think. So what I want to do in this video is go over 3 books that I actively used, or am going to use from Lone Colossus Games, and just talk about what they are in general. And then if I already have a video on them somewhere on my channel, I will also link the videos above, below, wherever you want to find them, or wherever they show up these days on YouTube. But before I do that, just a quick word about Lone Colossus Games. Lone Colossus Games is one of those companies that doesn't put out a lot of books every month or every year. They just don't have the output of some of those companies like Montague Games and Nord Games and Kobold Press and what Loresmith used to do. Lone Colossus Games is a small company that runs Kickstarters, and if those Kickstarters or bracket campaigns, whatever they are, succeed, they create awesome books. And every book I get from them is awesome. I only have 3 books right now from them, and I think they only put out like 3 or 4 books at this particular point. And the first one I have is Injuries and Vile Deeds, which I want to talk about first, which is one of maybe my favorite book from them. This is a book that reminds me of books like The Book of Vile Darkness for 3.5. I think that one was written by Monty Cook himself, if I'm not mistaken. Injuries and Vile Deeds is completely different. It's not the same. Like The Book of Vile Darkness was all about like torturing people and that kind of stuff, and torturing devices and poisons that hurt you and all that stuff. But it had kind of the same vibe to it. Injuries and Vile Deeds is a book for people who GMs who, first of all, want to introduce some new mechanics into 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. If 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons is already more than crunchy enough for you, you should not buy this book. If you're the game master who can handle a little bit more crunch, but also at the same time, in return, get a lot of storytelling, role-playing potential out of that crunch that you add to your game, this one is for you. I've ran a few of these, a few games with the Injuries system in this book, and it is really good. That's the main attraction. Now, the book has all kinds of things. The book has all kinds of things, like it has character options, like for example, for the fighter, there is I need the Champion of Pain, there is the Slaughter Domain, there is the College of Violence for the Bard, Bloodthorn Warrior for the Ranger, the Sadists for the Rogue. Everything is themed around inflicting pain, inflicting wounds, then putting your finger in that wound and twisting your hand a little bit more and making that wound even bigger and more painful, that kind of stuff. Like, really, if you're like a super good guy in real life, but you want to roleplay like me, and sometimes you just want to roleplay the absolute shittiest character you can find, this is the book you need. But like, the main attraction of this is the core system. There is a core system to inflicting wounds, but also receiving wounds. And I like how this is a coin or a medal, whatever you call it, with like 2 sides to it. That's an expression, right? So if you introduce a system of inflicting wounds to monsters, you're also going to introduce a system of receiving wounds as a player character. Both systems are very there are alike, but there's also a lot of differences between those systems, which is something that I like. It's not just like, oh, you inflict a wound here and you inflict a wound there. Then there's all kinds of ways to inflict wounds. There's all kinds of different wounds. There's rolling tables for inflicting wounds. But, for example, there's new spells that dish out like really painful stuff, and everything is thematically built around inflicting pain. There's cults in here, like evil cults, but also there's a lot of monsters in here. There's like a bunch of monsters in here, and what I like about that, I like when a book has monsters, of course, which is non-playable characters, not what I was looking for. I like it when a book has monsters, but I don't want my books necessarily to be a monster manual, if you know what I mean. Like, a monster manual or a monster book or whatever is really good for just having a monster for every situation. Like, oh, I need a monster that sits in a swamp. I'll just open up my Tome of Beasts or my monster manual or whatever other monster book that I have laying around and find something that could be in a swamp, right? With this, all of the monsters are created towards the theme of the book, and I really love that when creators do that. It's one of the main reasons I like Kobold Press, and Lone Colossus Games also does it. They create monsters that belong in the world they're trying to build. This is not a campaign setting, it's not a world, but it's kind of like you're adding this element to your world, so they are kind of world building, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm rambling. This is a rambly video. I know it is a rambly video, but this is exactly what I wanted to do. There's like, look at this. Look at this. All of the monsters have mechanics that that function together with the core system, the injury system. So your players, for example, you have creatures in here that, just a stupid example, you have creatures in here that dish out more damage the more injuries they get. So it's up to the players to decide if they want to injure a creature, because if they injure a creature, the creature is going to lose hit points, and there's going to be upsides to that. There's going to be boons, basically, you get from injuring a creature, but some creatures might dish out more damage or get other like a reuse of their ability or something like that from having injuries. So everything is tied together. If you're interested in this, I think I have a more in detail video about injuries and vile deeds. I absolutely love it. I use it a lot in my games, and I want to revisit this in a video soon, pretty soon probably. The second book that I want to talk about is Tome of Intangible Treasures, a book with one of the most beautiful covers that I've ever seen, and I can't wait to put it right there on my shelf because I think it is incredibly beautiful. I'm still waiting for the physical edition. It's super expensive to send physical editions these days, but the physical edition of Tome of Intangible Treasures is coming my way. So, oh, by the way, if you want to pick up one of these books, the links are in the description below. You can check them out for yourself, read the descriptions, or check a video on them, because I also have a video on this, more in-depth about the Kickstarter they did for this and all that jazz. And Tome of Intangible Treasures is what I call the treasure book that isn't a treasure book. I know it's just like a stupid little stupid way to say it, because that's completely not true. But what it basically is, it's all about boons, charms, and pacts. You can see that right here, right? They talk about boons, charms, and pacts. So you can make pacts, which comes with rules. It's really hard to explain in like a short segment of this video, but it's all about those treasures you get that are intangible, right? So they're intangible treasures. They're not really like a treasure chest with like actual treasure. They're all different kinds of treasure. But the main attraction for me is the trainings. You have trainings right here. I'm going to just go skip to that section, which is just one great part of the book. But basically, you have all of these trainings, like for example, Arcane Conduct, an Archmage, Enduring Champion, Enlightened One. There's like a lot of these, right? Favorite Priest, and this is actually what I've used in my game. This is the part that I've used in my game because I like those books that serve a purpose like this. For example, the Enduring Champion. This is a training you can do. The pre-requirement of doing this is at least 5 levels in Fighter. Then they talk about what you get if you do that training, right? You can use Second Wind twice before needing a short or long rest, which is like super powerful. Additionally, whenever you use your Second Wind, you also gain a bonus to armor class and saving throws until the end of your next turn. This bonus is equal to your proficiency bonus. It's a powerful, really powerful training, right? You lose the benefits of this training if you gain levels in any class other than Fighter. Now, some of these have pre-requirements. For example, there's 5 levels in Cleric, there's 5 levels in Ranger, but I've also seen some, if I'm not mistaken, I might not find it right now, but there's 5 levels in Paladin. Oh, yeah, there's multi-class trainings. There's trainings in here like an Arcane Assassin, at least 3 levels in Sorcerer or Wizard, whatever, and 2 levels in Rogue. So you're kind of like the Rogue Assassin with like magical talent, that kind of stuff. You have learned to blend your arcane spellcasting and assassin techniques to deadly effect. Your spells that require attack rolls can now deal sneak attack damage as long as you otherwise meet the requirements for your sneak attack class feature. That's so freaking good. Your spells that require attack rolls can now deal sneak attack damage. You lose the benefits of this training if you gain levels in any class other than Rogue, Sorcerer, or Wizard, or if the difference in your Rogue and Sorcerer or Wizard levels becomes larger than your proficiency bonus. That's a cool one. And then they talk about like who can give you this training and who that NPC is that can give you that training. And the beginning of this section is all about like how the system, this is weird, it's not working. Okay, now it's working. So how these advanced trainings grant benefits based on combinations of class levels you have. Work with your game master to determine how you gain access to the training. A training school costs money or effort worth the money you would gain from adventuring during that time, and a training period approximate for your campaign determined by your GM. So basically, it's advanced training. They give you the tools as a GM to give somebody just some powerful new abilities they learn from a certain NPC. Of course, if they go adventuring while they're learning it, it takes a longer time to learn. If they're like, I'm gonna spend 3 weeks with this dude to learn that one particular thing, I'm gonna spend that, you're like, okay, but that will cost you, I don't know, 1,000 gold pieces, 3,000 gold pieces, whatever, because you need to live in their house, you need to pay for their time, that kind of stuff, right? So but then they get this powerful thing, but it also comes with a set of rules, and I really like that. It's for those players who really know up front they want to go into like a certain direction with their character. And that's it for Tome of Intangible Treasures. That's all there is to the book. It's actually just kidding. There's so much more to these books, as well as Injuries and Vile Deeds. Tome of Intangible Treasures, there's so much more. This is just like a quick video where I go over all of these books in short and just point out one thing that I really like about them, 1 or 2 things that I really like about them. The trainings system is something that I actively put into my campaign, used for some of my players, absolutely love. So yeah, another one you should really check out, link in the description below. Then last but not least, a book that I haven't used yet. I want to play this with my son. He's now 6 years old, going again 7 years old. He's pretty smart for his age, so he's kind of ready to start playing, or at least playing a dumber version of this, or whatever I come up with when I start playing. I really want to test this one out. Wyrmlings is Tell Your Own Stories with Wyrmlings, a cute, wholesome, all ages tabletop RPG about young dragons going on adventures and overcoming challenges with friends. Designed to capture the feeling of cartoons like Steven Universe and My Little Pony journey and adventures you'll go on will vary from facing down an evil wizard to simply trying to find the best birthday present for a friend. It's all up to you and the stories you want to tell. With emerging complexity built into the system, the game is perfect for anyone from longtime role players to newcomers. Its narrative focus makes it excellent for episodic series and one-shots alike, and a pair of intro adventures will get you playing in minutes. That's the back of the book. I really like it. It's a small little booklet, right? It's been sitting on my shelf for a while because it's like on the top of I have an extra shelf there that you cannot see, but on the top of it, on top of all of my other books, this has been laying there waiting until I find a moment and my son is old enough to start playing this. It's just a really, look at this, yeah, a totally avoidable situation. I mean, that kind of humor. It's also from Lone Colossus Games, and this is something that I need to talk about when it comes to Lone Colossus Games. Where other companies often build stuff that makes, like, that within one overarching theme, so to speak, like some build around their world, like Midgard, Montague Games build around their system, Nord Games always has the same vibe across all of their books, that kind of stuff. Lone Colossus Games just built books that they want to build, and they don't necessarily are like intertwined with each other, and I absolutely love that. They built the kind of books that, especially the other ones that I talked about in my video, they built the kind of books that you put on your shelf and they serve a certain particular purpose. The moment it snaps in your head and you're like, I need this for this, you go to that book. You know exactly why you bought the book, and there will be a moment that you grab the book from your shelf. I like usability when it comes to books. I don't like books that have everything and nothing at the same time, and that's why I like Lone Colossus Games. And this is just something I really need to dig deeper into this, because I really want to know what this is and how it exactly works, and I want to review this on my channel. Although most of you people are adults, that puts you in the all ages category, right? And a lot of you probably have children like me, so yeah. My daughter isn't old enough, but my son will probably be old enough. Anyway, if you want to check out Lone Colossus Games, make sure to click one of the links in the description below. Read their websites, back their Kickstarters, sign up for their Kickstarters. They make awesome books, make awesome products. I just wanted to quickly talk about them because, yeah, I love what they do. And until next video, bye-bye.